Okay, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if the thing shut down automatically after a certain amount of time or what. But anyway, I've got about 40% left of my battery, so I'm going to kind of make this quick. You can see how the carts came along here, stopped, dumped their load in this big bin right here, and you can still see some of the ore, some of the debris down in there. I mean, this thing is humongous. And you can see the chute that it came out right there. And from there it was loaded into a waiting truck. There's where it came out right there. Right down there. Or it was kicked out into another cart for further processing. So anyway, this is a kind of a bird's eye view, so to speak, of this trestle. And we're going to walk along these tracks here. Again, another fond memory I had as a kid, growing up next to the railroad tracks. And those were the days that you drank out of garden hoses and threw lawn darts at each other and walked the railroad tracks after school. And nobody said nothing about nothing. So it's kind of like what we're doing right now, is walking those tracks. Here's looking out over that debris field, stand on top up here. That's the old mill. All right, so get going here. Okay, that is that. That's what we just walked across right there. I think that's pretty cool. I have not been to a site that still had the trestle in place like this. All the fires in this area, this thing still stands. And it supported me walking across there. And real quick, because I do not want to lose the battery here. Damn it. Okay. So again, this is where I stayed last night. There's not a dead animal next to me. That's my jacket. That wound up on the ground. It's the last place I wanted it to be. Okay, I'll figure that one out later. Okay, real fast. Put that one on the back burner for a second. So let's run through these complexes here. If you remember at the Simon mine site, there was that tin shack that had all those drawers of samples, of rock samples, the round cylindrical rock samples in it. And up until that time, that had been the first site that I actually encountered that. And I know that every mine has that. It's just that for whatever reason, a lot of the times that stuff's been removed, it's gone, it's off premises, well, whatever. Well, I came here earlier this morning, and this tin shack here is in fairly decent shape. It's kind of just hanging out here by itself. I don't know if this was the supervisor's place or what it was, but it's got a lot of those cylindrical plugs, samples, whatever you want to call it. It's got a lot of those in here. But it's a neat little old place. So, like I said, it's one of about 3 or 4 places that's still standing out here. The other ones are long gone. So I went up this road yesterday. That's that road that goes up for about another half mile, 3/4 of a mile. And you come into that 16-to-1 mine site. That is really nothing to get excited about. There's really, you know, if someone watches this video and says, yeah, I want to go up there, hey, knock yourself out. But if I can save you the time, I'd be like, yeah, don't waste it. The road up gets rough about halfway up there. And so I got out and I hiked in about 1/4 of a mile after that. And yeah, if anything, it was a good exercise. Okay, so just kind of walking around here. Kind of a neat old place right here, actually. Guy actually had a wooden porch. Yeehaw. And again, I don't know who was in this cabin. Did have kind of a cellar type area here, a storage cellar. So I got another friend hanging over here. I'll show you here in a second. So this guy doesn't look well. It's another bat. So another bat just chilling. So he might be still chilling. He's chilling permanently. I don't know. Okay, so that's the lower level here. Every one of these boards has a freaking rusty nail sticking out of it, so you gotta be careful where you put your foot. As we head in there, don't get too excited, there's not a lot to see in here. But again, you had more of those. Here's this room here. You can see the floor is littered with those plugs. I'm gonna call them samples. I don't know what else you can call them. But there's tons of them in here. So I don't know if this building, if that was the only purpose for this building was to contain all of this stuff. But as we walk around in here, it's actually a good wind barrier. So probably should have slept in here last night somewhere. And then you can just see, even in here, you can see where they have the individual drawers that were labeled. Each one of these is labeled. Here. Here. You can see, let me turn my camera around. You can see where it's labeled with the box number, interval, whatever, the whole number. That does not mean anything to me, but I guarantee you these guys had this stuff dialed in tight to where they knew exactly where the stuff was coming from in the mines. And like I said, the only thing I can think of is that this stuff was pulled out of a certain area. It's almost like they had a prospect hole that they were digging in. They'd pull it out of there, test it to see if there was any kind of good content in this stuff. And then that would determine whether or not they proceeded drilling in that particular area. I could be completely wrong about that, but that to me makes sense. So, like I said, someone correct me if I'm wrong. All right, that's our first building there. That's the first one that you see as you come up. And you've got these other two little shacks over here. The wind has been so good the whole day, and then all of a sudden now it starts to get crazy again. Driving up in these areas also, you got to be real careful about rusty nails. Pick them up in the tires. That's why I usually park the truck somewhere. I walk the area first. I look for nails, broken glass, any other kind of sharp stuff like, you know, sides of metal containers or whatever, and get that stuff out of here. So I removed probably close to 50 rusty nails yesterday from this road before I pulled up there. Okay, coming up here to the first of the two corrugated shacks. A lot of the piping. And these here, it's all shelving. It's all shelving in here. I assume that's what that is. I suppose it could be sleeping quarters. I mean, I can very easily see where you could put mattresses on here and sleep in here. So ask guys that work in a submarine or barracks. This is actually very nice for that type of thing. So it's either shelving or sleeping. I don't know, but and this area is fairly clean. So this might have almost been like a little kitchen area. Makeshift cabinet, a desk or a table, and yeah, that's it for this one. The next one's not too much different. So there you go. What is it? Storage or sleeping? Someone tell me. Okay, coming out this door here into the last of the three standing structures that I found. A couple ones that were knocked down that we just took a quick peek at, but again, here you go. Okay. And this here is a big, I don't know what the hell that thing is. It's like a motor of some sort. I mean, this thing is heavy as hell. I have no idea how it even got in here. And you can see where there would have been, my foot's at, you can see where there would have been a belt or something that ran around that there. So that turned something, I don't know what, and I don't know how the hell it wound up here, but it's heavy. Like I said, it's fairly nice. There's not a lot of rat droppings in here. Protected from the winds. Yeah. Okay. Last thing is the head frame. And always something that's cool to look at. So this also is housed over the top of a shaft that basically drops straight down. I've been down part of it. And this would have been responsible for bringing up ore bins, small bins of ore from the bottom, and then transporting them out from here. So let's see what we can do in here. Okay. It's probably about, I don't know, 5 stories tall, maybe. So here's the trap door that you can use to access it. The ladders. This over here is the entrance that was used for the carts. I said make sure it stays tight. And looking straight down. There you go. So I actually took this ladder down earlier today. I took this ladder down probably about 3 stories, and it just kept going. And this is almost like one of those 3 compartment, is it 3? I can't, it's probably a 3 compartment shaft. The first one here is access for dudes. So climb down that ladder and it just keeps going all the way to the bottom. It does, there are breaks at certain landings along the way, but eventually you work your way down to a point to where I think it ends. I got down on a landing and it ended right there. And I'm not saying that you couldn't have shifted over to another side and gone down, but I probably went down 3 stories and flashed over to this side over here. And if you can, oh, hang on a second. Let's take you down there. Give me 1 second here to kind of get situated. I'm holding on for dear life on this freaking iron hole right here, this pipe. So give me 1 second here while I do a little bit of shifting around. And I'm contending with rat droppings everywhere, garbage everywhere. Structurally, this ladder seems solid, so I'm sure it's not. It's probably about 100 years old, whatever. And as we continue down, main thing is I don't want to drop my damn phone because I ain't getting it back if that's the case. Okay, so as we continue down, you can see that's the main compartment right there where they hold the ore up from. That just keeps going down. This could be one of those 1,000-foot drops. I don't know how far down this one goes. Our landing goes right to, you can see my foot right here. So there's a landing right there. And you can shift over and continue down on that ladder there if you want to. I think it'd be fun to go down there. Here's our way back up. Going back up this little area. And just looking around, you can see how they've got the wooden support holding the sides, the rock sides at bay, so to speak. And you know, like I said, this just keeps going down further and further and further. And this is kind of one of those things where I wish I kind of had the actual maps for this site, because then you could say, okay, well, I know it only goes down another 100 feet, and then from there it kicks off to the side, and that's what I'm going to do. But otherwise, what you're doing is you're chasing shadows, because you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go down another 10 feet. I'm going to go down another 50 feet. And then you get down there, and it's like, well, I'm going to go down until I can't see the entry anymore. And you go down there, and you're like, well, you know what? I think I'm going to go down a little more. Before you know it, you're involved in a situation that you are no longer in control of. So you got to be real judicious in doing things like this. And what I'm doing now already pushes the limit tremendously. And someone called stupid, and they wouldn't be wrong. Okay. So that was cool. Now, one last thing I want to do before we shut things down on this video is, not sure what's going on with this barbed wire fence here, but okay, whatever. Let me put my jacket back over here. We're going to climb to the top of that head frame and just get an overlook on this thing before we're done. And I'll talk to you on the way up. So there's a ladder. It's not sectioned off. So given that that's the case, we'll climb it a little bit. Actually, we're going to climb it a lot of it, to tell you the truth. I'm just trying to put some of this barbed wire back a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, so let's climb to the top of this thing and flash around. No, this is a really cool site. There's your way up right there, all the way up. So this is NIVLOC is a really cool mine site. I would suggest that you get to. So the road out, I think it was just freshly graded because it was not a hard road at all. So a little bit of washboarding. A little bit of washboarding along the way. For the most part, it was very well graded. If you're afraid of heights, this is not for you, by the way. Because if you slip and fall, you're going down quite a ways. So, all right, we are getting there, folks. Here's looking down so far. So what I'll do is I'll get up here, I'll film a little bit, and then I'll shut the camera off. to get back down. So, but this is a site that is definitely cool. And like I said, if you're able to get out here, I definitely would do it. I definitely would do it. Give me 1 second here. Let's see what I can get myself involved in here. Okay, I get it. Looking down the shaft, right there. Let me get perched up here. Okay. And yeah, it's definitely windy up here. Shocking, I'm sure. Okay, so here we are at the top. Again, if you're afraid of heights or got vertigo, yeah, don't do this. So there's that first cabin right there that we were in, and it had all the samples in it. Flashing around here, panning around. That's the road in, the only road in, and the only road out. This is looking back over the small development of Silver Peak. And the mill. Let me get a better grip on that camera here real quick. The former mill right there. A lot of the dig sites into the side of the mountain right there that you can't see, but they're there. And then the old trestle that we walked across. Right here. And this basically is the whole site right here of NIVLOC. Here's the corrugated sheds that we just came through. And just a couple of the surrounding mountains. And of course my Jeep right here. That's where I called home last night, was right there. Great place, great place. I am right now heading back to Bishop to refuel, and then from there I'll be heading south, working my way down 395 towards Lone Pine. So that is it from this mine site here. This is probably one of the best ones I've been at so far. Definitely the best access for actual mine shafts I've been to so far. Absolutely loved it. Hope you guys did too. Thanks for watching. And next time I see you, I will be back in California somewhere. I'm not sure where yet, as far as what I'll be filming, but maybe the Alabama Hills area. I don't know. I've got a couple more mine sites in store, and a couple more good hikes coming up. And then by then I'll be starting to work my way back southeast across to Arizona as I head back to Florida. Bring you guys along as much as I possibly can. So, all right, thanks for watching, and we'll chat with you in the next video.